This one is bystander number 35, the day of the oil embargo on South Africa. All of these images that you see, they are taken directly from the newspaper. I haven't done any editing or anything to shift the face, so it was actually captured like this in the newspaper. What I absolutely love about this project, that you'll see here on these two test prints, is how amazingly they fall apart digitally in the corner here, and then you also get to see the here you can see it's quite pixelated, and then here you get to see the quality of the newspaper print. That would have been an analog photograph that was taken and printed through a press. This one, number 10, bystander number 10, is the day Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. So this particular photograph would have been taken in the 1950s, when photographers would have been using film. They would have been using analog photography. And what I love about this project is that it's kind of like an intersection between then and now, digital photography, film photography, and it was really a time in the history of photography where I, as a photographer, was grappling with the development of digital photography. Digital photography was really at its beginning stages in 2008, and the quality was not on a par with analog 35mm medium format photography. And so I was really exploring the quality of digital photography and how I could work with that as a medium to make art. These prints that you're looking at now were the ones that I tested for the Infecting the City public arts project, which went to Cape Town in 2015. These prints were finally mounted. They were printed larger onto this sort of scale, and they were printed onto they were mounted onto posterboards, and they were installed in St. George's Mall for 8 blocks in Cape Town, where at Newspaper House. Here's the archive of this work. Another great thing about this work is that it's a temporal body of work. It's time-based work, and not only is it time-based in that it directly speaks to film photography, it speaks to digital photography, the kind of limitations around digital photography in 2008, but the paper also ages. So you'll see here is a really beautiful example of how newsprint starts to take on a different tone. And while these are test prints and they're a little scrappy, I do have archived versions of this work, which are in frames and that are aging. And an interesting thing is that this work was not included on an auction because of the lack of sort of archival quality, where in fact very similar to my Rolls work, I was inverting the process and I was creating an individual artwork on the basis that the paper ages. So it's a timeless, time-based historical piece. One thing that also really came out of this project for me was how every time I was invited to show the work, it took on a different form and a different iteration. And yeah, I look forward to seeing how it rocks up in the future somewhere. Nice and tinted.